The man grabbed a rolling stone and smashed it hard against the small glass in the wooden door. The three men have been trapped in the sauna for an hour. The temperature inside is 85 degrees. With the last of his strength, the glass is finally broken open. Inside, the men breathe in the fresh air. There are 4 people in the sauna. One is called Lisa, the other Daisy. The man who had just smashed the glass was Martin. The other, Baker, was having a fight with his girlfriend Lisa and accidentally fell over a ladder. Then he left the ladder lying around. The tragedy begins when Baker accidentally drops the ladder. Martin sees Baker's anger. Martin tries to talk to Baker, but Lisa stops him. But they didn't know that the ladder had slid down when Martin had just closed the door. The ladder slid down. It wasn't long before Lisa tried to get out. When she opened the door, it wouldn't open. The door closed and reopened a little. As a result, the ladder slid this time. The door was completely blocked. It was now impossible to open inwards and cannot be pushed outwards. Martin slams the door hard. The wooden door does not budge. Lisa screams for help. Martin looked under the glass and saw that something was blocking the door. Lisa pounded on the glass. Then she grabbed a barrel and smashed it against. The glass did not help. Martin then took a towel to the fireplace, grabbed a hot stone and threw it on the floor. He then asked Daisy to pour mineral water into the barrel, then throw the stone into the water to cool it down. Let's wait for the temperature to go down. He picked up the stone and threw it at the glass. Martin threw himself at it with all his might. The glass finally shattered. Lisa pushed Martin away, breathing in the fresh air. She thought that the air would have lowered the temperature in the room. But then Martin said that the heater will continue to heat up in order to maintain the set temperature. The set temperature is maintained. This means that the temperature will remain at 85 degrees. That's when Martin came up with a solution. He wrapped the stone in a towel. He threw the towel through the window, trying to tie it to the ladder. The man wrapped the bath towel around the stone and trying to tether the ladder because a ladder was blocking the doorway. Eventually the man tries for a long time, but it doesn't work, and Lisa sees the thermometer up there. She picks up a stone and tries to break it. Martin shouted a warning to her not to touch it. If the thermostat breaks, there would be consequences that no one could afford. The temperature would even reach its maximum. Daisy, who was listening, went forward to stop her. Lisa is furious at being stopped, and Martin sees the light bulb. A daring idea came to him. Martin took the bulb down, wrapped the spoon in a towel and dipped it in water, thinking that the bulb circuit was the same as the heater. Martin, thinking that the bulb shorted out, the heater naturally turned off too. Martin inserted the spoon into the bulb connection. A strong burst of electricity successfully blew the fuse, but it seems that the bulb and the heater are not wired in the same way. In this way, the three continued to suffer the heat. After an hour, suddenly they heard a dog barking outside the door. The owner of the sauna had returned. They banged desperately. They banged and banged, shouting for help. At that moment Baker came over, and the voices of the 3 men in the sauna were drowned out by the smoke and fire in the sky. They could not be heard at all. Baker saw the lights in the sauna go out, thinking that the 3 men had gone, and then Baker goes away, and the dog runs up to the owner. The owner is setting off fireworks. The owner watches the dog keep barking and thinks something is wrong. He was about to follow the dog back to the sauna, but just in time Baker stops the owner. Baker tells the owner Martin and the 3 of them had left without him. The 2 men don't even know that. The 3 men were already very weak. The 2 men then drove off, leaving the dog in a daze. The temperature in this sauna was 85 degrees, and there are 3 people trapped inside for close to 3 hours, and there was already a serious lack of water. That's when Lisa finally sat down. She tried to smash the thermostat. Daisy tried desperately to stop her. In the middle of the argument, Daisy accidentally knocked Lisa unconscious. Martin then said he wasn't sure what the damage would do, that the thermostat was not important. Daisy hit the thermostat with a rock. When the thermostat was broken, the temperature of the stove rises instantly, and Martin collapses. Seeing the temperature rise higher and higher, Martin goes mad and then turns to laughter. Daisy is horrified. Martin gets up and hits the stove. He then shakes the stove with his body clinging to it. Suddenly, the gas pipe breaks. There was an explosion. The door burst open. Daisy ran out of the house, drank a drink in pain. The camera pans around. It turns out that it was all a figment of Daisy's imagination. At this point the gas is still leaking, and Baker is still complaining that the 3 left without calling himself. Over here Daisy pulls Lisa to the door to prevent the gas from poisoning her body. With her strength exhausted, Daisy grabbed a towel and tied it around the beam. She then wrapped the towel around Lisa's arm. Daisy then took the stone away and blocked the gas pipe with the burning. She then fainted from the poisoning. Shortly afterwards, the owner returns. He looked at the ladder at the sauna door, noticing that something was wrong, and Lisa's haggard, pale face appeared in front of the owner. The boss then called the police. And aside, Baker sat by regretting, blaming himself. But it was no use. Daisy woke up in the ambulance and clutching Lisa's hand. And that's it. The film ends, and Martin is gone forever.